This is my iPhone 15 Pro Max, and I've been trying to discover some new cases, new brands, new styles to review and check out. And I've really been wanting to try a silicone case that wasn't Apple, because I have another one that I just bought that I'm planning to use long term. So I wanted to check out a silicone case that wasn't from Apple, and I discovered this one from Elago. So this is a stone colored, so they call it stone, a silicone case which looks to be very similar to Apple's. When you look at the back, the only thing that's really missing is the Apple logo, but otherwise, from all angles, it looks pretty much like a copy of Apple's case. Now, on the inside as well, you've got a felt material. You've got the MagSafe rings, and on the top, though, you do have some more branding. It says make details, make history, San Diego, California, and the coordinates, which I'm gonna assume are their headquarters. And then at the bottom, it has established 2002, designed by Elago in California, made in China. I wonder where I've heard that before. And it's the IP15 Pro Max, so they do have the model name stamped on the inside too. The sides, very similar to Apple's. You do have a shiny button here on both the volume and the alert slider. Not the alert slider anymore, the action button. So volume up, down, and the power button all have these metal finished buttons. I wonder if they're gonna wear over time. That's something I will keep an eye on. The camera bump is raised, and it is actually made of the same material. It's silicone all the way through. Unlike Apple cases, which have a hard ring of plastic around here, which is a little bit stronger, especially when it comes to impacts. The bottom is pretty much similar. It's got cutouts for your speaker, your microphone, and your charging port. Other than that, a very simple, elegant, and neat looking case. So let's go ahead and check out how it does with the flex test. So flexing this, there is a decent amount of flex, and when you flex it, you can actually see the magnets pop out there. So it is a little thin layer in there, which is definitely different from Apple, which is much thicker. When you bend it, you don't see the magnets jutting out, so that's something to keep in mind. Let's push in from the inside. Ooh, I heard a little creak. That's not good. Okay, not bad. It's not making it again, but it did make it when I first pushed on it. So let's push from the outside in. Pretty strong. It's locking out. The sides are giving it enough strength to not push through, but I do think that if I was to apply force, a decent amount of force, this would pretty easily break, way easier than the Apple silicone case would. Now on the top, you do have a little cutout for your microphone, which is something Apple cases don't do. I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but there's just a tiny little cutout right at the top. So let's go ahead and pop the phone into the case, see what it's like. So putting it in, and boom, there we go. So this is what the phone looks like from the front. It's got, of course, the elevated lip, which comes out pretty high. I do have a tempered glass screen protector on the phone, and even despite that, this is like at least another millimeter or so above it. Really, really good protection. The top, of course, has the cutout for the speaker, the microphone and the speaker up here. And then the sides, the buttons, here you go, the alert, the volume up, down, and the power. Let me go ahead and press these buttons and see what it feels like. Pretty good. Really, really easy to press. Very button-like. It doesn't feel like you're pressing another layer through the button. It just feels like you're hitting the button itself, and it feels metallic. Even though it's plastic, it does have a little bit more of that quality finish compared to just being silicone, so that's nice. That is a good touch, and that overall pretty much goes to show the case. There is no real impact protection on this one. Let me just go ahead and pop the case off to show you guys on the inside. On the inside, it doesn't have any little bumps meant for impact protection. In fact, you guys, if you do look at the corners, you can see a little bit of that attention to detail that is lacking. I don't know if the camera's picking up, but this felt material is folded in, and you can see some overlap and wrinkles, which, of course, you know, it's a much cheaper case, so the quality standards, I think, can be lowered without being too harsh on this case. But, you know, it's just small attention to detail things that really do make a difference. So this case costs $17, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier or not. So for $17, you get a pretty much close copy of the original Apple silicone case, and this looks pretty good. Now, the one concern I do have looking at this case is the camera. So since this is silicone, it can very easily be pressed in or can fold in when it gets dropped, and I think that this definitely is the weakest point of this case. It's overall a really good case. For the price, it's really hard to beat, but I find this to be such a obvious thing to have just kind of copied over from Apple. There's a good reason why you should have something a little bit harder right around this region, because if this was to impact, you know, if this was to say fall flat and fall on maybe this edge, what will happen is this will get pressed down and the impact will transfer over to the glass on here, which, I mean, look, even without the case, it might do that and it might break, but if you buy a case, you just want a little bit more protection to the sensitive areas of the phone. Overall, I really like the look and feel of this case. The silicone feels very smooth, very nice to the touch. I do hope that it ages just as well as it feels, but that's something that I will further look at as time goes on with this case. So this is the Elago Silicone MagSafe case. I'll have it linked down in the description if you want to check it out, along with, of course, Apple's case if you want to compare them and see what they're like in person. This is way cheaper. This is a third of the price, so obviously for the price, it's unbeatable, and I can definitely recommend this initially. So let me know what you guys think of this case, and if you've used it in the past, feel free to let me know what your experience has been with Elago or this case in particular. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll catch you in the next one.